Hey,
Hello.
friends. It's so lovely to be live with you this evening. We have Q from the Foldout Cat.
Hello.
And she's joining us from Alabama this evening. So
I am.
Look,
And
Dean and
we're
I are in the same room.
Which means you don't have to suffer through 20 to 25 minutes of me talking about things that aren't yarn.
Or me randomly popping in and
Yeah.
like yelling at you.
I don't know. I hear rumors that it was very entertaining, regardless of who was in which room. So I don't.
Oh, it was really entertaining because you never knew when I was going to show up. So
Yeah.
that was kind of fun.
And
It was like an extra layer of crazy.
That is the definition of entertaining is random Katy. That's that.
Yes.
I'll do that. Oh,
One of our regular viewers, Tiffany, she like popped on, like I showed up and then I disappeared again, and she was like, Katie's here, and then she's like, oh, she's got again.
Yeah.
Now you see.
Yes.
Now you know.
Yes.
So we have had a busy couple of days, and
Yeah,
I'm about tired.
You drove all the way from Austin today, so
yeah,
Ooh.
9+ hours of
in the
driving.
truck. So
That's a lot of driving. I mean, I got you beat, but that's a lot of driving.
where'd you go? Where did you drive today too?
Not today.
Oh,
I drove from Alabama, from Huntsville, Alabama, to Palm Springs, California.
that is a drive.
It was a long drive. Yes, I left not last Monday, but the Monday before that, and I drove. I once I get going, I like to just keep going. So it was about a 29-hour drive, and I did it in 2.5 days, I think. And then I set up my looms at a wedding, which was just so much fun. I had students who were getting married who asked me if I would come set up my looms at their wedding for their wedding weekend, so that their guests could weave fabric for them. So that's what I did.
Nice.
And the new
Aww.
14 yards of freestyle weaving fabric.
That's really, really cool.
The parents of the bride wove, the parents of the groom wove, the siblings wove, the siblings' spouses and partners wove, not random strangers, because they knew, but people I had never met before wove. Most of the wedding party wove. And my job, because this is what I do as a teacher of freestyle weaving, was basically to show them the mechanics and then say, the yarn is over there, go play. Which is awesome. And it was so much fun. It was great. And then I drove all the way back.
That is awesome.
That's one of the most cute things ever right there. That whole story was like, that's great.
So we have some comments showing up.
I stopped in Colorado to pick up a spinning wheel.
Nice.
Nice. Also very cute. So we have some comments over on Facebook. We have the Jays chiming in. They're watching from the other room with you.
Hello, they say.
Hello.
And then Jazz from Yellow Rose Fiber Fiesta also chimes in. Marlin Farms over on YouTube. And Tiffany is really excited that we are together again. And that,
She said her husband and her did Arkansas to North Carolina in about 30 hours. Nancy, Northern California?
Oof.
I don't know. Northern California or
North Carolina?
North Carolina, Tiffany.
I don't know.
30 hours is a long way to North Carolina. That's like double what it takes us.
It's not, actually. If you think, we do 3 shows in North Carolina, and going, you think, I'm terrible at geography. I don't think we actually share a state line, but we come really close, and we go. So it takes us almost 10 hours to get there. Not counting, oh my God, we're towing a huge trailer up hills, and hey, we need to
North Carolina near the coast,
Yeah, so it depends. But
North Carolina near the coast is a long way away from Arkansas.
And down to the farther south part of it. Also, we do a show in Charlotte in August, and that one is the closest show that we do there is actually SAF in October. After driving to Palm Springs and back, I have learned to appreciate the fact that I can get to things like the Eureka Fiber Festival in a day.
I know, right?
I know.
Yes. And we appreciate that you're coming to the Eureka Fiber in the Ozarks.
I can't wait. Really looking forward to it.
Really, it's going to be good.
The problem I have with the Eureka Fiber Festival is I had arrangements to stay with beloved friends, and they sold the dang house.
Yeah, I know. People like that are such jerks.
We feel really bad.
But I'm probably.
But I'm not renting a house for a weekend. It's not happening.
I don't think the strangers in your house would mind if we all descended upon them, right? I'm sorry, we used to live here, and she's with us, and we're just, it's a big yard. We'll just hang out in the yard. Probably.
Right
I have to mute for a second.
Oh, yep.
So do you take a phone call to sign out every night? And so that's what I was doing.
No worries. The boy being very amused.
Speaking of Eureka Fiber in the Ozarks, your class sold out. Your freestyle weaving sold out. Yeah.
Today?
No, I think it sold. That was a week or two ago. I'm pretty sure.
I missed that. Oh, well, you're sold out. Yay!
Yeah.
People signed up for the e-spinning class that it's going to happen?
Yeah. Oh, I think so. Yeah, you're at least at 4, I think, or something like that. Yeah.
Good. Well, and I'll do another push on social media this week. I've got Carolina Fiber, and then Eureka, and then I'm like bouncing back and forth. I'm going to Raleigh. No.
Yeah.
Yes, Raleigh, and then Eureka Springs, and then back sort of in the middle to the Nashville area for Middle Tennessee.
Yes, we're doing that one too.
Q travels like we do.
Yay!
Jazz says that they go to Florida every year. It takes them about 18 hours to get there. So they she's in South Texas.
Oh, that's
South-ish Texas.
Yeah. That is a lot.
San Antonio. Yeah.
That is Jazz, did you say?
Jazz. Yeah.
Jazz. Is that Yellow Rose?
Yeah, she's the one who does the Yellow Rose Fiber Fiesta, Yellow Rose Fiber on the Coast, Marlin Farms. They
do a market.
Her and her husband Austin do a lot of things fibery in Central South Texas.
Now, and I'm like, dang, these guys are really, really active and busy. I wonder when they find time to oxygenate.
And she's been doing working on a lot of the dot pebbles.
She's been doing a lot of the dot pebbles patterns for
knit dot.
Cool. The little frog and she's working on a lamb right now, which is super cute, or a pair of lambs. And so I think that might be ready soon. I think that might be ready.
I haven't looked to see what she was posting about today.
Today was she got to walk on the treadmill and she was working a sweater? I think it's the white sweater.
It was a different animal, but I can't remember what it was, but I'll look at it.
Oh, the Yorkie.
Yorkie, that's what it was.
She's using a circular machine like an Addy to do a Yorkie. She did a husky earlier this month, which was super cute too.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah.
I'm
excited to see what comes next.
The Woolen Fiber Art show this weekend, and I was here on that show for the people who've done it more than once. They ask us to volunteer to be support for other vendors, even if you wind up being volunteer for someone else who's been doing it as long as you have, which was the case for me. And the weaver that I was the volunteer for, the first slot, has worked out all of these patterns. She has these sort of deceptively easy looking, because patterned weaving is not simple, with cats and sheep and clovers. And so I jokingly said in the comments, hey, when do the alpacas get their share? Yeah, she's working on an alpaca pattern.
Nice.
So when are you making the cat one?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's a fair question. The issue being that the kind of weaving that Marjorie does and does very well and writes patterns for is not the kind of weaving that I really know how to do.
She doing floor looms?
Like does. Well, floor looms. What she does is she does her looms have at least 4 harnesses. Shafts, okay. Right. So you can do more intricate patterns with those.
Right.
That I work with are you just do plain weave, or what's sometimes called tabby weave. And so the focus, deliberately they're designed so that the focus is really not on pattern, it's on, playing with color and texture, but it does limit you in terms of patterns. So I would love, on my very long list of things I would like to learn how to do, is to do the kind of weaving that Marjorie does and writes for and really does well. But that list is, I don't think, I'd knock something.
You have a
3 more.
You have a floor shafted loom, or?
I actually have an 8-shaft loom. I don't know what condition it's in at this point, but I do have one. I bought JJ Fire J Maker J bought for me used, and I've never actually gotten to use it, but I do have it. You can also convert the looms that I use into 4 harness looms. I have the ability to do that. I just I use them for teaching so much.
It's not really practical.
Yeah, you have to uninstall the mechanism and then install the new one, and I don't have the time. But it's there.
Right.
And one of the cool things about that is that you can then, and you can do this on any loom where you have 4 shafts or more, you can weave just straight back and forth tabby weave, and then you can stick in little pieces of pattern. So if you're not married to the idea of having the whole piece be in a pattern, you can use the pattern as an accent, which I just think is really cool. So that's really like I want to do that.
That sounds really fun.
Yeah.
Jess says that her she has a flat knitting machine as well, and it's kicking her butt right now.
Jealous?
A flatbed machine totally that's like way above my head. I can't. I have attempted to do that, and it is just. I'm like, why? Why do we? No, let's just get this. This is way easier to just get it done.
I would probably be all over that because knitting. You know, I mean, there are certainly bistitchual people in the world. In that way, I'm not one of them. Crochet makes sense to my brain, and my brain looks at knitting and goes, "It's too hard, and it's gonna fall apart if it falls off the needles." So I'm all over the knitting machine thing. I would love to try one of those because I feel like I might be more successmal at that than I am with.
Jess might be ready to get rid of that machine.
You might be able to find one cheap. No.
She's been battling with it this month.
Yeah.
So. Fighting with your tools is not enjoyable.
So, we got to hear the story about why you're called the Foldout Cat back when you did your interview with Oxford.
That's
but
right.
I don't know if all of our viewers got to hear that. So if you would like to talk about that and like how long you've been the Foldout Cat and what exactly you do, we would love
absolutely, and that will take us the rest of the time we have in Insight.
Yeah, I was
perfect.
You beat me.
Wait.
You beat me to it. I was off.
Before you do that, then tell us what your favorite colorway that you make is.
Oh, my favorite colorway that I dye right now is Mad Hatter's Tea Party. It is the closest I come to. All of my colorways are 5-color because one of the things that I dye is I dye 5 skein and 5 braid sets that I dye together in the same kettle layer by layer. And I can only fit 5 layers in the big canning kettles that I have. Any larger than that, and I think I would be looking at witches' cauldrons. And I am not qualified for that in many ways, one of which is I have nowhere to put them. So the Mad Hatter is the closest I can get to kind of day glow version of an LGBTQ plus rainbow, although I am fomenting a colorway that I think will actually get me 6 colors using 3 colors of dye, which I'm very excited about. But Mad Hatter it is super cheerful. It's very bright, which I like a lot. I mean, I dress very boringly. I like bright colors when I work on stuff. And it makes me happy to look at. It just is like, it's like dancing in fiber. And it's blacklight reactive. A number of the bright ones that I do are. So, it just has all kinds of fun stuff going on. And I just did it for the first time on a sparkly yarn base. And oh, mama, I'm kind of in love with that. So there may be some.
So that one's coming to the Yarn Adventure Truck, right?
That is coming to the Yarn Adventure Truck. Now that I have done it, it is absolutely. And nice. I have sparkle bases. And now I one. I am in the process of acquiring a sparkly fiber base, which I'm very excited about. Unfortunately for me, I ordered it, and it was the one thing the company I ordered from didn't send me. They sent me all the other things I asked for, and then a big bump of something I did not order. So I am going to give them a call tomorrow and say, so I have 27 pounds of this really cool thing that I didn't order. What would you like me to do with that? And we'll find out. And by the way, where is my glitter? But, we'll get this.
So you got to start somewhere. You got to start the conversation somewhere.
And I just dyed another colorway that I really like. I like it more intellectually than personally, but it sold really well. The first batch of it that I made, it actually only has 2 colors in it. It is a Wool and Fiber Arts community colorway of the month. I call it Wintertime Woods, and it is the picture was basically snow with a branch from a pine tree. So there is white and brown and green, and that's all. And I was like, okay, challenge accepted. So when I dye that as a littermate, 3 of the 5 layers of fiber in the kettle are not dyed. I don't put any dye on them. and it just percolates. It came out remarkably pretty. It's very understated, which I am not a particularly understated person. I don't know if this has become clear.
No.
I know, it's shocking. I know, it is. I know. Over on the couch, goodness me, I'm getting I'm getting a look from Fiber J over there. Girl.
Yeah.
But it came out very pretty, and I was surprised at how much I liked what happened when I let the I gave the dyes room to percolate rather than the whole thing with dye. So that was fun. I really do love all my colorways, but I think those are my two current favorites.
Cool.
And then my third favorite is the next one I'm working on, which right now is the rainbow one that I have in mind. The Foldout Cat comes from a conversation that I had with a friend when I was still practicing law full time. I practiced law full time for 8 years. I'm still licensed in 3 states. I'm licensed in Alabama, Tennessee, and Virginia. And I still do a little bit of legal practice on the side, and I keep my licensures up. When I was practicing full time, I was living in Virginia, and I was trying to get a friend who lived about an hour and a half away from me to come and visit me on the grounds that I had at the time 3 cats. And I also had a fold-out couch where she could stay. Now, if anybody has ever stayed on a fold-out couch, you know that in and of itself is not much of an invitation. I don't know how they orchestrate those things so that no matter how tall you are, the bar where the thing folds always hits the small of your back. But I had it, so it was for her to stay. But there had at the time been some Chardonnay involved in the conversation on my end. Don't know if Michelle had been drinking it all, but I had definitely had some Chardonnay. And so the invitation came out, Michelle, you should come and visit me. I have 3 couches and a fold-out cat. So I am notoriously terrible at naming things. When I was in kindergarten, one of the kindergarten parents made little brown nap pillows for all the kids in the class. And we were encouraged to name them. And I called mine Little Brown Nap Pillow. But when I sort of fell into starting a fiber arts business, I thought, well, it doesn't have a whole lot to do with fiber except for the hairballs that accumulate in every house that has cats. But I can be pretty much guaranteed that there won't be another one out there. And indeed, who knew that, in this age of search optimization, that was going to turn out to be as important as it is. But if you spell fold out as one word, and you put Foldout Cat into your favorite search engine, and if it's not Google, I don't know why not, but to each their own. I am like the first page of results that comes up. So that comes in handy. And it also gives me endless play in product names. So all of my product names are takes off. I don't know what the plural of takeoff is.
Takeoffs. Yeah, I would do takeoffs.
All right, I think you're right. All my product names are takeoffs on cat names, or cat words, and I'm storing up synonyms for like I just looked up what are words for a group of cats, and now I have to come up with some product name that uses the word clouder because
of course,
full word,
yes,
right?
Yes.
But I all of my products have cat names. I just did a new thing for the sale I just did online. Where I put Angelina, which is the Fiber World's answer to glitter, little strands of glitter that are a lot of fun to carry along with you when you're spinning or card into something. And I put little like dressing cups like you get with a takeout salad. I stuffed those full of different colors of Angelina, and I did like little flights of those. Do not drink this at home. That is a bad plan. And I thought it would be a fun thing to do. I talked it over with the Jays. And as soon as the idea came to me, I was like, and they're called glitter litters. Because
glitter litters. I love that.
Love it.
That is super fun. Okay, before you go too far, Jazz wants to know who is the pattern writer for the woven animals. And she actually asked that on your Facebook.
Oh, fantastic. Jazz, her name is Marjorie Erickson. Her business is called Opalescence Fiber Studio. I'm looking at Fiber J because he was in the house when I was at her.
I had just typed it in and was waiting for you to confirm it.
Oh, fantastic. And Fiber was
nice
in writing. And she's an accomplished weaver. She makes beautiful things. They are deceptively simple looking, but then if you are a weaver, from deceptively simple. Mm-hmm. And that she sells the finished items, but she also sells the patterns, and she sells the patterns for what I think is really a very reasonable amount of money. She has an Etsy shop. And that's where she sells. So if you look at her Etsy shop, you will see her patterns. And I'm pretty sure that the patterns for the cats and the sheep and the alpacas, or not the alpacas, they're not done yet. The clovers She might have done snowflake. She's done mostly symmetrical design. Easier to do it that way. Pretty sure those patterns are all there. So highly recommend. Also very nice person and very she does demos on the wool and fiber arts community pretty regularly. She's one of the people who is really good about sharing what she knows with other people. So
that is nice to have. Yeah, for
cool.
sure.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
I am so excited.
Yes.
About all of this. This is all is great information.
You asked me, and I don't know if you still actually want an answer to it. I think it was how long I'd been doing this.
Yeah, how long have you been the Foldout Cat?
So technically, the business when I fill out the ever increasing number of sales tax applications in the different states that I travel to, I'm up to 16 or 17 this year. I list the business as having started the 1st of January 2017.
Okay.
I was doing stuff within that business structure before then, but I hadn't really, I don't know, maybe
that's your incorporation date.
Yeah, except that I'm a sole proprietorship, so I'm not actually incorporated, but if I was incorporated, that would be the date. One of these days I will probably go ahead and fold it in for business purposes under my law firm, which is incorporated, and once you have an
literally he bedumtished you.
Yes, I know, I'm sorry. I went there.
Go ahead and Foldout Cat it in.
I will go ahead and fold. I will go ahead and spindle and mutilate that feline right on in there. Yep. That did not come out well. Nope. Getting another look from Fire Day. Nope. Another look from Baker Day too. Can I just strike that one? Oh, this is live.
We'll strike that from the record.
No felines are spindled or mutilated in this house. I promise. Sleep right now, looking, perfect. So we're good to our kitties, except when they shed all over the place. But so what is it? It's 2004, 2024. So
it is now 24. Yeah.
Yeah, and at the time I was primarily crocheting, which is actually a remarkably difficult thing to make a living doing, unless you are phenomenally fast or a very inventive. Phenomenally fast, so you're a good production crocheter, or you're a very inventive pattern writer. And I am neither of those things. But that was what I knew how to do. All of the stuff that I do now, I mean, I do some crochet. I'm actually working on a shop sample that will probably be a shop sample on my head, which is my Black Irish colorway, which is most black, and blue, and green. And so I do still crochet, but mostly I weave, I spin, I dye, I card, I breathe occasionally. I sing in my church choir, and
sleep, at least once a week.
What is? I'm sorry. The word you used? What is that? Yeah, I do actually sleep. I run out of brain at some point in the evening, and then it's just me and the book and the wine and dinner and the cats, because at a certain point I'm like, and I've been running and running and running and running. Wham! Oops! I just ran into that wall. So that's pretty
Tiffany, one of our followers, says that she adores you.
She also used some choice words for the people who did not send you the glitter
sold
fiber.
You the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I deliberately did not name the business because I don't believe in public shaming. Seriously. Not believe
in it. It's fine.
And I call tomorrow and say, I really like your product. I one of the things I got from them was a Tweety yarn that I'm super excited about. I don't know anything like. Also, they carry a breed of sheep that I had never heard of, that this yarn is made mostly out of the wool from that breed of sheep, and it's so cushy and soft. And I bought that. It's Shaniko.
Oh yeah,
which is
so it's like American based.
Yeah. Yes. And I am in favor of buying. I am in favor of supporting local businesses. I'm in favor of supporting U.S. businesses. I look askance at people who. There's a segment of the population that's very big into buy American without paying very much attention to where the components of things were created, and if the components of things were created primarily in other countries where people are earning 50 cents a day making them, and just assembled in this country, that is not the direction I like to go. But I am excited. Most of the fiber that I have is indeed produced in a lot of it comes from the UK, some of it comes from South America, some of it comes from here. The Shaniko that I'm buying is all grown here, not just processed, not just blended here, but grown here. Which
it's an American sheep breed, specifically.
That's really cool. And I bought the fiber. I have the Tweety fiber as well. And then the thing I didn't get that I'm hoping they will send me soon probably not soon enough for me to get to bring it to Eureka, unfortunately, but I will, if cross fingers, is something I have been looking for a couple of years. It's actually, it's wool that is blended with very fine denier Angelina called Stellina. So it's a glittery spinning fiber.
Mm-hmm.
And I have seen.
I am familiar with this. I have some roving.
Yes.
I have some.
And how fun
that's
is it?
dyed from a maker in Minnesota.
Yeah.
North Dakota, something like that.
I don't know who you're talking about.
The one I got at North Dakota.
You'll be able to have
and
some
that was across
by a
the
maker
way.
in Alabama.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Okay, so you have
a
comments.
couple of comments, yeah, from your folks. Amy Bellman says she can't wait to take a class with you in Estes Park. Yay! Carol Kowalski says hi, nice surprise.
Carol, I love Carol. Carol
and Tiffany says that you are her new favorite human. And Tiffany, you'll be very excited to know that you will get to spend some time with Q at Eureka Fiber in the Ozarks. Tiffany is going to be one of our volunteers on Saturday. So you'll be able to meet and visit with her and her mom. And so, yes.
Oh, I'm delighted. That's lovely. And I am very excited to have a class with you at Estes Park also. I'm really pleased. I teach a lot. I teach as much as I can. I love to teach. I mean, I love making things and I love selling the things I make, but I come from a long line of teachers. My dad was a law professor and both of my grandfathers were law professors. One of them also taught English because he taught it at West Point. So he kind of did a combo thing there. My mom was a teacher to the bone, even though she never had a formal teaching job. I love being able to kind of set people on their own creative road. I will never be the expert teacher person. That's just not my MO. But everything I teach is basically designed to enable people to pick up the basics of a skill and then take it wherever they feel like taking it. And so I teach at probably 3/4 of the shows that I do across the year. And then there's one show that I usually do in Indiana that I hope to get to do again, where I only teach because I can't, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately for the safety of the world, I have not figured out how to clone myself yet. And so if the classes and the vending happen at exactly the same time, I have to pick. Very often, one or the other, or sometimes if I'm really lucky, both of the J's will travel with me, but can't always pull that off. In Estes Park, this year I have a beloved friend coming who is going to do some setup in my booth, which will allow me to teach 2 sections of my weaving class and also a section of the e-spinning class that I teach. And I'm super excited about all of those. And I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
I wanted to share a picture from when we were with you at Rhinebeck this year.
Oh, God,
you talked about teaching. And so like Q teaches classes, but she also teaches in her booth. So this is her making a custom fiber bat for our nieces, actually. So I took a picture of this, and we were helping out in Q's booth, and she did not get to teach a formal class there, but
I did.
You did. No, you did. Yeah, that's right. You did take. Yeah, you did teach the day before that.
Before we came.
But yeah, you did a lot of teaching from your booth, and so yeah, this is who Q is.
I love teaching. I love
every
how stuff works. I don't like. One of many reasons that I don't practice very much law anymore. The law is fascinating. Okay, I am interested in the law. I always was. Dad, law professor, both grandfathers, law professors. I think the law inherently is very interesting. I'm still interested in it. But lawyers in this country, in my experience, many lawyers have a lot invested, literally and figuratively, in being very possessive of information. There are a lot of reasons for that. Some of them good, some of them not good. It is one of the aspects of that part of my professional background that I like the least. And so I like to, I'll tell people how I dye things. I'll tell them what colors I use. Everything I teach is, like I say, is at a basic level. And if I can show somebody something in the booth that they're not paying me for, I know people who are in our world, in the fiber world, who are very much sort of, well, I had to fight my way to this knowledge, so by God, I'm not telling you jack. Everybody makes their decisions about that stuff. That is not the decision that I make. I like to share that stuff. And I really truly believe that the world has room enough in it for all the people who want to do these things. And so, if I can show somebody how to do something that sets them off on part of their creative journey, can I ask for anything better to do with my life other than, eat chocolate and read books? Probably not.
Yeah.
Well, we're all about the community, and it's something that we really want to promote, and being able to share and in any way is really important to us. And to the Yarn Truck and to Yarn Adventure in general, we really want those small businesses to be able to thrive and to share. And so that's
Katy does a lot of creative teaching too, but really what she does is to take like small businesses and more small businesses and do this to them in the fiber world. So
I shove people at Q all the time. She's like, where do you come up with these things?
I know. I love it. It's, it is true that you guys are wonderful community builders. It's one of many things that I love about you. It's, I have run into, and I'm sure you all have run into, the occasional person in the fiber world who is very much not about the community aspect of it. And again, the choice that people make. I think the community is one of the best things about the fiber world. It is not a perfect community, but they don't exist on this.
No.
Exactly. Environment that we all are inhabiting right now, that's not a thing. But I think more people try to create that community and to work together in that community and to share stuff rather than being possessive and grabby about it, the best life is. And I think that, that spills over into all the aspects of my life. People like, well, this is what I believe for my business, and this is what I believe as a person, and this is what, and I'm like, for a sociopath, those things are not actually separable. They are so, I all of that, that kind of respect and civil treatment and sharing of information and thoughts without judging to the extent possible. Judgmental person here, I admit it. I think that's really important what environment we're in. And, fortunately, me, fiber people I know and love the best, like you guys, feel the same way. And put that energy out there, and that's great.
All right. Yes. We have one last question for you, so we can let everybody do back to their crafting. And that is, where can our lovely viewers find you to buy your lovely products? Online, because we know you're amazing.
Oh, I'm all blushy now. So yes, the easiest way to buy things from me or to come and hang out with me is to come and see me at one of the events that I do. And the best way to find out what those are is to sign up for my mailing list, which I do not spam people with and I do not sell. You can do that by going to foldoutcat.com and going to the bottom of any page on it and just signing up there. And I send in a newsletter once or twice a month, and that's where I put links to everywhere I'm going to be for the next 4 to 6 months, including, as soon as I have them, links to class signups. So, so often I have those, earlier than they're actually, I get them and then they're sort of promulgated from there. Also, everywhere I go, except for this one festival that I'm hoping to get to do again in Indiana, I'm both teaching and vending. So that's a good place to find that out. I have a website. It does not have a store. It has not had a store for about 2 years because once I started cranking up my travel schedule, which is, I love to travel and do all these things, I quickly discovered that because so much of what I do is one of a kind, I was double selling things. And that does not end well for anybody. And it's really a bad plan for a business person. So I will eventually have a store online because it's a bad idea not to. But right now, the way you can buy stuff from me is you can find me in person, or you can come to the Wool and Fiber Arts community on Facebook. They run a vendor marketplace every single month. And I take part as often as I can. And if I'm not taking part and you are not familiar with WAFA, I recommend it anyway, because it's basically like getting to go to a fiber festival on a monthly basis. That's where I found Marjorie Erickson, who makes the beautiful towels and other woven things. So that's where you can get my stuff and find me.
All right.
Awesome.
That is perfect.
Yeah. And there's a good chance that if you just took a hat and you put every fiber event in the country in it and shook it up and drew one out, that either Yarn Adventure Truck or Foldout Cat will, or both of us will be there.
Very, very. That is absolutely true. Yes. I'm traveling March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, and the very first Alabama Fiber Festival since before I moved here in 2014 is happening at the very beginning of November. So yeah, that's
awesome. It's on our calendar.
And it's on the Yarn Adventure Truck calendar. So yes. That is true, Dean. That's very funny and also very accurate.
Yes.
We travel the same. Yes. Except I travel also in January and February.
Yeah.
Me too.
We sort of, it's less, definitely.
It's only the only safe month out there, really.
Yeah.
safe because who wants to touch wool in July? But now there are other things that we're doing in
Yep.
which is in July this year. So,
Yep.
Yes.
July is not safe anymore.
Yeah, no, Convergence will definitely be a fun one, and we will both be at that as well for Hand Weavers Guild of America. So very excited about that.
That made me think we should make some sort of like reel about like a Jaws style, like no month is safe.
Well, as long as I don't have to, die to be part of this reel, I'm so on board with. Oh,
yes.
I die to be part of this reel. I don't want to die to be part of this reel.
There you go.
I follow you.
Yeah, and isn't that unfortunate for you? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna sign off of our lives, and we'll continue to chat with you for a few. But so just stay on, and we will chat with everyone. Make sure that you guys are posting on our hashtag 29 minutes for 29 days and tag at Yarn Adventure Truck so that we can follow along, and you'll be entered for our drawing in a few days.
Yep. Just after today, we have 4 more days.
We do.
So.
Just 4 more. That's it.
Oh my gosh.
We'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
Thanks.
See you guys later.
Bye. This was fun.